All right, air guitar to bring us back on today. Oh, well, I lost my soundtrack. I have to talk to my agent about that. All right, we're back at it here in Washington, D.C. again. Apparently they're throwing a big party for me at the White House tonight on the South Lawn, a soiree to kick off summer. Very excited about that. But my next guest, they've been throwing parties for him for a long time, blanket parties. Okay, maybe not. But he's been traveling the back roads of Michigan for a long time. Ron Rademacher with me. Ron, good morning.
There may have been a blanket party or two back in the day. I think in basic training that may have happened.
Yeah, just keep
So
kicking till the
the White
whimpering
House,
stops.
Steve, the White House once a month, I hear you say, I'm sure everyone is offering advice, as people do, to help you through this, and I'm going to go ahead and offer mine. When you're in a
Great.
tight spot, don't
Mhm.
hesitate to mention my name. All right, it'll lighten the moment, and everybody will say, "Oh yeah, we want to talk to you about that guy." So
All right, fair enough.
congratulations,
I
best of luck.
appreciate it. So I see that it's June 4th today, correct? Uh,
That
my grandmother's birthday, if she were still here, she'd be 126 years old, born in 1899. But
I can
I was
relate.
just invited yesterday. I see the top of your list here
Yeah.
is D-Day, which is a couple days down the line here. And I bring this to you today. I was just invited yesterday to go with Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. He does it every year. He said, next year, Gruber, I want you to come with me to the beaches of Normandy. I'm going to do it. It's been a lifelong desire of mine. I'm going to do it. So I think it's a pretty cool thing that you mentioned here. What do you want to say about this, Ron? I mean, it changed world
Well,
history.
it changed world history. The greatest generation, people I've looked up to all my life. My father served on the beaches of Normandy. And there's still a lot of those veterans around. Let's just not forget, and all the hubbub and all the worry about AI and all this misinformation, yada, yada. The principles that those people stood for when they conducted that invasion and made those sacrifices are exactly the same principles we believe in today. So let's not forget to honor the veterans of D-Day. That's that.
Well done. And I agree. At least it's the principles that you and I believe in.
Yeah,
I wonder
yeah,
about some of the
yeah.
others, but I can't fix that.
Well, we need to pass on the traditions, and some will take, some won't. That's why we have everybody has their own opinion. Mine happens to be right in this case.
Well, exactly. And
Yeah,
I have an opinion. If you disagree with me, you're entitled to be wrong. I get it.
yeah,
I'm with
yeah,
that.
yeah. In fact, I could agree with you, and then we'd both be wrong. But
Right. Anyhow, what else you got on your magical little list here you want to start with?
well, we got all kinds of stuff, but I will mention that the road trip that's going to be going up on Michigan News Source is a road trip to Gross Eel. If you've not been down there for the alpaca stampede, it's hilarious. It's also the featured podcast this month. So if you go to my website, Michigan Back Roads, click on podcast, you can get a quick tour of the island. This is a downriver island right where the Detroit River enters Lake Erie. I'm sure you've been walleye fishing off that island
I have been
to
in.
this day.
I've been in those waters. By the way, I should mention I was down at the Detroit Grand Prix over the weekend at the time trials on Saturday. That was a lot of fun and excitement. And boy, are they loud!
Yeah, I'll bet they are. Yeah, man, you're getting around these days, Steve. I'm glad to see
I
you're out there
know.
traveling around. And it was very nice of Ivy to let you go to Washington D.C. once a month. Will you have oversight while you're there? I wonder. Or
Sometimes, and in fact, it was Ivy that when I landed in Detroit, she surprised me with, "Hey, yeah, we're not going home on Friday night." I said, "Yeah, we're not going home. We're going into Detroit." Went to this hotel called the Roost that had this most fabulous speakeasy bar in the basement. I must say, Ron,
oh,
it was tremendously cool place. And then she said, then the next day we went off, or that day we went off to the Grand Prix and so on and so forth. It was great. I loved it.
I'm writing down the Roost Speakeasy. Got to check it out.
You know,
We got a lot of other
I
stuff to
guess that
talk
was
about.
Saturday. The days all run together. Anyhow,
Yeah, I know well, and I'm sure your dance card is always filled. Congratulations. Keep it going. You're doing a fabulous job, just in case no one's told you that lately. I know you don't hear it at
thank you.
home every day, but I think so. You're doing a great job. Keep, keep moving on up, baby. So a lot of famous stuff going on. I hear Anthony's going to Copper Harbor. If he
Yep.
gets up there in time, the mountain bike big boy clinic is going on. If you're a mountain biker, Anthony, take your bike with you. You can have a great time up there. It's open to sophisticated gentlemen, grizzled old guys, young bucks, big boys. Anybody who identifies as a man can take their bike, and they will show you mountain biking like you have never seen mountain biking in Copper Harbor. Let me tell you. Have your
Okay.
have all kinds of first aid equipment. All right, the real deal. If you don't want to do that, NEMA, I'm going to miss it because I've got the World Tours taking me over to Imlay City. But this Saturday is the Smallmouth Bass Catch and Eat tournament held in NEMA. Fantastic event. You go out, catch the smallies, bring them in. They got a whole crew there to fillet them. The inn cooks them up with all the fixings. Last time I was there, we caught so many smallies. We produced 82 pounds of fillets. It was
Really?
fantastic.
Golly, I'd like to do that. I've
It's
got a
just,
high school graduation I can't miss this weekend, which is great. But wow, I love smallmouth fishing, and I love smallmouth eating. Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrific the way they do it. And either next year or the year after, I'm going to lock. It's always June, the first Saturday in June. I'm locking it in because I just don't want to miss it anymore. They boats last time I was up there. Anybody, it's like $20 to register, and they weigh them. They have all species, all kinds of prizes. It's terrific. And the biggest smallie is mounted in the tavern there. You had lunch with me, and it's mounted for 1 year with your name on it. So that's a great event. Another good one, of course, if you want to go a little bit more famous. I don't know why it's more famous, but they're having a lilac festival on Mackinac Island, Steve.
Oh yeah, that place.
Yeah.
All right. So hold on, Ron. As these things go, we talked about me, just not quite enough, but a little bit more than usual, but not quite enough. And then we talked about you a little bit. But let's take a break. We have some more great destinations. I know we're not through the list here, and I keep dropping my pen this morning. I'm having some challenges in the studio, but we'll take a break with Ron Rademacher. By the way, if you want to find out more, MichiganBackroads.com. 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 More with Ron Rademacher in Extra Innings right after this. All right, back to it. Ron Rademacher in Extra Innings, everybody. Here he is. He's suited up. He's ready for battle. All right, Ron, let's get a couple more in.
Yeah, let's do that. So we talked about the Smallmouth Bass Festival. Don't want to miss out on another great festival that, again, I'm going to miss it because just bad luck, is the Gizzard Fest in Potterville. They've been having this now for at least 20 years.
All right.
Gizzard City.
This is going to blow the rest of the segment. But Joe's Gizzard City, I have a personal story to tell.
Oh, good.
I had met Ivy first or second day of June 2013, I guess it was. And we never exchanged numbers, and I had gone to look for her, and there's more detail on this that we'll share over a beer at some point, you and I, Ron. But I had failed miserably. I'd gone to her place of employment, and I came out. I didn't find her as a restaurant in Lansing, and I came out, and I saw this red car go to the parking lot, and then zoom. I saw her, and she saw me, and she zoomed away, and I thought, well, that went well. And I thought to my life, that I look like a complete idiot. I look like a stalker. That's over. So a few days later, I'm at Gizzard Fest, and my phone goes off with a text. Hey, this is Ivy. Were you looking for me the other day? And so really, the real genesis of my relationship with my wife began at Gizzard Fest. Ron, it was a miraculous day. I can't tell you about the tattoo I saw on a man's head, but someday I'll tell you about that because that was something special.
That guy's name is Sandy. I know exactly who you're talking about. He's there every year. I'm sure he'll be there this year. Big biker guy.
The tattoo on the back of his head?
Yeah. A little bit of hair sticking, a little ponytail. Yeah, that's the guy.
A little rat tail. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sandy.
Don't need to say anything about that.
I never knew the man's name. Now the man has a name. The man is Sandy with the rat tail out of the back of his head. I think I tell that story, people are like, that's not true. Totally true. I'm looking at that going, wow, this is where my life is at. And then my phone went off, and my life was saved right there in Gizzard City by Ivy. And that's all I got.
Those two memories in juxtaposition, that's very strange. Very strange. But they do have great gizzards there, and if you've never been if you're around there, it even made it on Dives, Dumps, and whatever that TV show is.
Yeah.
Dives and Dumps.
Joe's Gizzard City, you gotta go.
Gizzard City was even featured on that.
God bless America, Ron. Gotta run.